changer for Scriber. I know it's like been the most requested thing for, like a decade. So we're getting there and it's starting to get super cool. Oh, Hugh from the UK. Hey, Hugh, how are you? Good to see you.
Dylan.
Um, so anyway, we're making progress with it, and I'll start kind of showing everybody around. One of the things I was thinking that we could do is just start with kind of scheduling a job on the desktop. So we'll kind of start there, and I'll do my best to work around, and everybody can ask questions as we go. Towards the end of the meetup, I actually wanted to go over a an idea that I had for using the tables, which is pretty cool. But maybe we'll save that for the end. Tim, who kind of built the tables, is running late, so he'll be on here a little bit later. So can everybody see my desktop screen? Okay, right
Yes.
on. Cool. So, one of the first things you'll notice if with Scribeware 7 is that we do have a calendar view. So you can see all of the appointments that you have. I kind of like how when you hover over a finished job, now you get to see like the published report and a cover picture, so you can actually kind of know which job it is that you have done, which I find uh, super helpful. The
Can I add my new
You
one?
can also block. Charlie, can you help mute
There.
stuff? Charlie Buell. I don't
Yep,
know if
yep.
Thanks, man. Um, so one of the things I realized that you can do too is block time off. So if you click on like this 10th, you can block time. So a question came up this morning. I was meeting someone on scheduling and he had a guy who was a fireman. So this is how like you could go through and set your schedule is you could block time off that it's like fire station and then you could be like if you're working on the fire station on the 21st or whatever, you can book that off. Uh, and there you would be able to, it's like I already have millions of things going on the 21st, but you get the idea. So you can kind of block times if you need to. One of the things that I would like, I'd love your guys' feedback, but on the calendar, I think it would be really nice to see available times as like little open slots. It makes it a little easier. You can see how much stuff I have on my schedule. So that was one of the things that came up. But yeah, you can block your times off, and then if you want to make your available times, you can go under settings and your schedule. And here's where you can build schedules for all of your team members. So like for me, this is kind of my default schedule, but then I would manually, this is kind of like the most available times that I have. I would be manually blocking out some that I don't want to work in addition to that. But you can kind of have each team member setting up available times and you can like uh, delete them and add as many as you want. You could have 3 appointments a day, however you want to set it up. Um, it looks like there's a bunch of options here too for you can just have your online scheduler request a date range instead of letting them choose a specific time. So that could be kind of a helpful tool. It's like you can hide inspection pricing. I think one of the bits of feedback we got is some people don't really want to show everybody their pricing and would rather like do that afterwards. So if you want to hide that, you can. You can hide the add-on pricing, and it'll just say call for a quote. Um, you can hide client-facing duration estimates if you want to. That's actually not a bad idea. I often like to have a pretty long amount of time scheduled. Just I don't know. I guess I like the clients to know because then they've blocked out enough time. Nothing is more maddening than when like the agent's like, I have to go an hour once after you show up, and you're like, well,
Exactly.
that's not how it works. You gotta stick around for this. Um, anyway, hide inspector selection drop down on a time step. Not even sure what that does. So this is a big one. I think Roger is not on here, but I don't know how many of you from the online scheduler want to auto confirm that you're booking appointments. I personally like to kind of have a request come in and then I would approve it or not. Because I don't really want people booking me, partly because like someone could book me for over in Seattle, which requires me taking a ferry, and I just wouldn't want to do that at certain times. So I like to kind of approve it. But if you want to auto confirm everything, you could switch that on, and then people literally can just book online, and you won't need to touch it. Oh, Steve's on here. Hey, Steve.
Hey
Good to
guys.
see you, man.
Yep.
Um,
The Dylan, the height inspector selection drop down. Normally when that's off, will show on the client portal will show the list of inspectors you have on your team if in case your agent really likes a given inspector or your client wants to request with the given inspector. Some companies don't want you to be able to select that, and so that allows you to not have that drop down on your portal.
that makes total sense, right? If you have a team of 10 and everybody wants one person or whatever, then this would more be generic. It's like, well, here's our times that we have,
That's right.
correct? Cool.
Yep. Yep.
That's awesome. Yeah. Love it. Nice job on this, Steve. It's super exciting. Steve, am I correct then? Like, if you were to set this as your basic calendar, then you could go into your daily calendar on this view and be able to block out times in addition.
Yep.
So, like, if I were the fireman example, you could go into September and just start blocking off time slots, and that would
Absolutely.
override that availability calendar.
Absolutely. And the Google Calendar integration is now available to everybody, so you can just update your Google Calendar and it will also block off times on the scheduler.
Nice. So if you were the fireman, you and your Google and your fire station were in your Google Calendar, you wouldn't even really need to do anything. It would just automatically block off those spots on your availability calendar. Is that
Yep.
accurate?
That is
Cool.
correct. Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, I was meeting with someone this morning and they're like, you can only do a week at a time. And I was like, there's got to be a way. Anyway, I'm new to all this too. So anyway, that's pretty. Look, does somebody have a question or is it just accidental? Um, cool. So that's kind of all. Again, those configurations were all under the scheduling tab. So you can see it right here under settings. This is also where you have the wireframe that you can put on your website. And so that's books the online calendar. You guys want to go through the portal together, like the online scheduler, and kind of check it out? All right, we'll copy this. And if you want to check it out, you can copy that first link and just paste it up into Google. Can you guys see my Google now? So everybody see my online scheduler?
Yes.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Thank you. Cool. So obviously, one thing that I really like that Steve built is you could check availability right away. I mean, my next opening is almost September right now, and so I would almost love to just have it be like next opening is September. Leave me alone. But whatever. That's everyone's got their own take on that. But I think it's kind of cool that they could click on that and just see what your next openings are. Obviously, we can put a name in. We'll do Michael Jordan's house. Whoops, I put it all under one thing. I'll put Michael Jordan over here. And we'll just do my email address and phone number. And so pretty easy there. Obviously, Steve did some cool stuff with the street addresses. So it will search online and start looking for the square footage and stuff. So I think, do I need to hit return, Steve? Because it auto filled it in the other day. Obviously, you can manually put them in, but let me try my house and see if it. Oh, maybe I need to hit that. Yeah, you have to hit the you choose one of these options down here, and then it's searching online and finding the square footage, the year built, the bedrooms, and the bathrooms instead of auto-populating that.
Yeah, that's a bug right now that we're looking at. It should automatically auto-populate every time you put an address in, but yeah, those are coming from two different services. So
I gotcha. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Cool. Yeah, it was working really smoothly. It's still working, but it's like the UI is a little bit more
Mhm.
confusing. So then at
Yep.
that point, you would not only you've captured the address, but now we serve up the inspection type. So this would be your first round of your services, whether home inspection, interior condo. I suppose I could add full condo, but to me, that's just a home inspection, commercial and consultation. So then we go to the next pane. And we've got the inspection fee that came up, and then the client can add on different things. So I don't have a ton of ancillary services. For me, I'm mostly just charging if there's like a studio or a barn or a shop or that kind of thing. We could add a detached garage, and let's add an ADU. It's Michael Jordan. We gotta get his bill up here. Let's see. And then the client can put in special instructions, so gate code or watch out for Cujo the dog. And is there a real estate agent? So if they say yes, then they can fill in the real estate agent, or if you're just handling it yourself, you can ignore it. Steve, I think at some point we're going to link. Are we going to link? We've had different requests. Some people don't want to link the agent automatically because then if their agent doesn't show up, it could upset people. I don't know where we've landed on that one, Steve.
We're gonna auto-complete the agent based on the existing agents that you have worked with, but um, I haven't heard any requests for hiding this completely or
Seems
were
nice to
you
autofill it because then client starts typing it in and it would
Hi,
all just fill in.
good, how
for
are you?
sure. And this is designed for the end client to go and fill out the report. Obviously, the agent can go and do this themselves if they want and put in their own information. But we do have in our plans to actually do a separate agent portal that your agents can go to and see all their past reports, all their past clients, book new scheduling, and all that stuff. And that'll be a slightly different workflow.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, would the agent then be able to schedule right from their own portal? Like
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty cool. So
Yep.
they wouldn't even need to use your online scheduler. But I
That's
think
right.
the ultimate goal coming soon is that you start typing in the agent name, and if they're in your own personal database, then that contact info would auto populate. So for now, we'll just handle this ourselves. So now we've got all of my available times, which is, yeah, it's like I don't really have much until almost September. It's like the
That's okay.
31st. We could do 9 a.m. on Tuesday, the 1st. And so then we will submit the request. And we should start picking this up back in Scribeware, and I can kind of show you guys what that's like.
Thank
Is
you.
this helpful, guys, to walk you through the whole thing? Is that you guys is this good? Right on. We did one of these the other day, but there's so much moving parts to all this that I just think it's good to so that went through. So now on my home screen, and I could be in the calendar view. It doesn't matter which view. I have this little orange thing like, hey, I've got a request came in. So you can click on that and it just isolates the requests that have come in. It says it's unconfirmed. So let's click on it. And so I have a button here to confirm the appointment. And we've got Michael Jordan, we've got his email, we've got the address, we've got some information right here about the square footage and stuff. Uh, you can see the services that were checked, ADU, detached garage, home inspection. We've got an inspection fee total. So let's go ahead and hit the confirm appointment button. And Steve, this is where I need to manually select the agreement, I believe, but shouldn't that have happened automatically? If Steve's still on here.
So the agreements are configured as a part of your services. So if they select like a home inspection, you can configure under settings under the service settings the agreement that goes with a home inspection. And so Dylan, I suspect you don't have that configured.
Yeah, I
If you go
thought I
under,
did, but let's go under settings and we'll
yep,
go under
Services.
Services
Yep.
and home
Home inspection.
inspection. We'll go down to the
MS2U.
bottom. So
Yeah. So
report template. Oh, go ahead.
that should be automatically configured and picked up when they schedule with you. So it'll
Okay.
automatically select the residential and WDO. I don't know why in your case that's not happening, but make
Okay,
sure to
but
do that.
that's where it
Yeah.
should be set. We can
Correct.
always manually put agreements in. So here's all my agreements. So we could do a residential agreement and a WDO addendum. And the idea behind this that is really brilliant that Steve has done, in my mind, is that as you keep adding, whoops, let's go to services. You can attach the agreements to all the different services, even to add-ons, I believe you can have their own. So every time if you add mold, you can have a different a little addendum agreement for mold. So that way you end up with like, however the client has configured all your services, you're serving up the appropriate agreements. Does that make sense, everybody? So let's see. I manually attached a couple agreements here. So now we can confirm the appointment. And so this is going to my email. And here's the messaging that is auto sent. You can always edit this, but this is all like pre-made email that is all ready to roll. So now we can send the email. So that now has gone out to my email. Let's see. We check my email real quick. I think this was the email. I can't remember which one I chose. I got so many damn email addresses. Here it is. Orca Inspections. Your agreement is ready. So we'll open this up. So this is the letter that your client gets. Now I'm putting my client hat on. Thank you for choosing Orca Inspections. And here is the client portal where we're going to kind of manage everything. So the client can click on this and they can sign the agreement right here. So let's go ahead and look at this agreement. I'm not responsible for anything. If everybody dies, it's not my fault. All that kind of stuff. And then you click here to sign. So and looks like we have another one. This is for the little wood destroying organism addendum. And I have read the agreement and I agree to be legally bound by this. So we'll continue. Is this helpful, everybody? You guys getting all, yeah. So now we've got a little check mark. So we could go back into Scribeware now and have a look.
One thing I want to say about the agreements is that it's a slightly new system. It used to be that we would require everyone who was on the inspection or all the clients that you have listed on the inspection to sign the agreement, and that created a lot of confusion for people and wasn't actually legally necessary. From our discussions with attorneys and insurance, only one of the buyers needs to, or the sellers need to sign the agreement. So this was updated, so it goes out to everybody, but only one person needs to sign it. And we only we don't let them out of the signing process, meaning we don't say everything is your signing is complete until you've signed all the contracts. And if people have used this before, they'll know with our old contract system, it would say, "Hey, you signed that contract." But if you had three contracts on there, people would sign the first one and then say, "Oh, I signed it," but then there's two other contracts that they didn't sign yet. So now all the contracts are put into one document. They have to still sign all three documents or all three contracts, but that's all one document, and you're not done until all three is signed. So it works much better, is much more smooth for people. We are still planning on adding updates where you can add initials. I know that's really important in some regions, and be able to add dates and client addresses and stuff like that. There's still some enhancements coming with the contracts, but it works way better than it has before Scriber
That's
7.
that's awesome, Steve. And I'll go over the agreements with customization here next or in a little bit.
Cool.
So we'll go
Great.
over that. Richard, good to see you, man. Did you have a question?
Yeah. What causes, what parameters or how much of this do you need done before the system starts sending stuff out? So in other
Uh,
words, if you don't go through this whole process and it's not all filled out, but you have all your client information in it, but like you don't have contracts uploaded, you don't really have any monetary stuff for an invoice and stuff like that. What causes the scheduler to send stuff out?
The scheduler, so the way it works, and Dylan, feel free to chime in here for your understanding as well, but the way it works is that when somebody requests a an appointment with you through your client portal, or if they call you and you create a scheduled appointment inside Scribeware, that only
here's the
sends them a
scheduled one.
right, and that only sends them a, hey, we've got your request, we're reviewing it, and we'll get back to you, or whatever you want to say. All that stuff is configured in the message templates.
Okay.
When you confirm an appointment, the thinking is that you generally know what service they want, what add-ons they want, what the address is, what the square footage is, what the date and time of your inspection is expected to be, and what the contracts are. And so
Okay.
the confirmation is essentially saying, hey, we've got this figured out. We've got this configured. You're on our books. Here's your invoice. Here's your contract. Here's our date and time. We'll see you there, assuming you do everything. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I was just wondering. Yeah,
Yep.
Perfect.
And
Yeah,
I'll
cool.
get with
So
you.
if you're
the
like me
confirmation
and
process gives you a chance to jump in and make everything work and, make sure everything's configured correctly is correct. First of all, like even like square footage, sometimes like if you're in an apartment and the wrong apartment number gets entered, or maybe the automated data doesn't pick it up correctly, you configure all that and then you confirm it. Confirming usually it means your
Yeah,
everything is all
yeah.
set to go. If you then add it, say, well, you have some communication with them and they said, oh, by the way, I heard you do source scopes.
But
I
I
want to
need you
add a
to get
source
all
scope
your
on.
stuff out my back seat, sir.
Then if you change it after confirming it, Scribeware will then tell you, oh, by the way, the price that you said it was originally has changed from from the original confirmed price. Do you want to let your client know, or do you need to send them an update or something like that? It'll actually show you warnings and such, and let you know that something has changed that needs to be
So
reconfirmed.
if I don't confirm it and I downloaded the information off of ISN, like
Yep.
I'm doing right now, at the end of the month, I want to go live with the scheduler.
Yep.
What's causing the scheduler to send out emails after I send the report?
Great question. Scribeware will not send out any emails on your behalf for ISN reports. So what that means is that because we figure ISN is handling everything, what that means is that you can go and proceed to configure Scribeware to do all the things you want with all your automations and test it out with your own email addresses while continuing to get ISN reports and using ISN's process to get your to do your business. When an appointment is scheduled through Scribeware's scheduler, or if you hit schedule report outside of ISN, that's when all the processes come into play. And the same goes
Okay.
for Keystone or anybody else you're integrated with. Does that make
I
sense?
broke it. I'll get with these guys afterwards.
All right, cool.
It's
Yeah.
obviously something I did.
Yeah, totally. That's why it should
But
work
yeah, I'll
anyway.
get
We'll
with
see.
these
Yeah.
guys.
All right.
I'll give you guys. I'll put a ticket in and stuff like that. I did something
That's
wrong because
perfect.
it's shooting emails out. And it's confusing my clients for some
Yeah,
reason.
no, it should. It should. We should never send you an email on behalf with ISN.
Okay, I'm sure
Yeah.
it's something I did, but
Okay.
thanks. I got the info I
Perfect.
needed.
Yeah, reach out to me personally. All right, sounds good.
All right.
so yeah, and just so you guys can see that, like you can see this is the stuff that I'm using Keystone for, and all these jobs came over.
Hey
These,
guys,
yeah,
I'm sorry. I just wanted to drop in a question.
on that where you are. I have a few, but I want to follow the conversation. But it was just what you guys were talking about adding ancillaries. So
Mhm.
I just booked my first two inspections using Scribeware. I'm working on making a full transition away from Keystone, unfortunately, because I love Keystone, but I don't really need everything they have, and I think Scribeware's capabilities are good enough. But my point is, I did an inspection. It was an inspection and radon test, and then they paid via credit card for those, and then they ordered a mold swab sample for when I picked up the radon test, and I added the spot sampling, so it was 150, and it didn't say that they had paid the balance and there's an additional fee due. So for now, because I know they paid, I already got the money, so I went to the invoice and I zeroed out the radon and the general inspection and just left the fee for the mold spot testing. Did I do something wrong, or can it can it track the payments that were applied to that order before adding new ones, or is it kind of linked at that
That's a
point?
great, Joseph. That's a great question. And right now, Scribeware tracks a given report as paid or not paid. It's a true or false Boolean kind of situation. That doesn't reflect reality. And what we're going to do in a future update here really soon is allow you to do exactly what you just said of like, okay, they just paid, $500 for my inspection, but now they want to add this other service. It's 150 more. The balance due is $150. They should just be given another invoice for $150, not the full,
Okay.
$650. That doesn't work right now. That is something that we are going to be adding here real quick. In the meantime, the way you work around that is create a second report or a second invoice, and say this is for your mold. I'm going to put your report on the original and
Okay,
communicate to the
because
client. But I would just create a second report which would
yeah,
have a
I think
second
that
invoice.
what I did so far, since they already paid, obviously,
Yep.
or not obviously, I now it's you guys know that they paid, and I added the other service. I just zeroed it out for now because, and
Yep.
then when they
That's
pay
fine
for the
too.
mold, I'm just going to restore
That's
the
perfect.
full
Yep.
total, and then
And it's marked as paid.
I want to jump back into the. I think I can wait for this when about the email to the agents that I sent you guys feedback that the confirmation didn't go to the agents upon booking. But I'll just bring that up because I don't want to derail the conversation. I just thought that that was a good spot to bring up the invoicing issue.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So anyway, what I was getting to here is you can kind of see Steve built it so that you can tell that without opening the job on your homepage that it's been signed, that's green, and then they haven't paid, so that's kind of orange. So that's the same kind of workflow that we have in the mobile app almost. This is a job this was my first job completely booked by Scribeware, and that was signed and paid, so I'm all ready to go. So we can open up Michael Jordan's job here and you can see confirmed, signed, not paid. And then of course, when I'm done with this one and I want to publish the job, I would just publish and send email. And that's going to publish the job and send the pre-made email that I have built. So we'll hide that for now, and we'll dive into those emails in just a minute. But that kind of walks you through. We could go back to my so here's Orca Inspections. Your report is ready. So this is the same job for Michael Jordan. We can open up the sorry, I'm trying to mute Chris real quick. Or maybe somebody muted him for me. Thank you. So we'll go to the portal. And so we've signed the agreement and stuff, but you can see we still have to pay. So I won't go through and do all that, but you can go ahead and just click and pay there. We're set up with Pay Factory for doing credit cards. At the moment, we don't do ACH. Steve, do you have thoughts on timing around ACH on that?
Coming soon.
Right on. Yeah.
If it's important to you, please let us know. It's actually like really important to Tim and Dylan right now. So,
Richard's
yep.
raising his hand.
Excellent. Good, good. Yeah. I mean, the more people that tell us it's
Brett's
important to you
raising
and
their
it's missing for
hand. Come
you,
on, guys, raise your
um,
hand. This
uh,
is your moment.
then we'll make it happen. It's fully supported. We just need to be able to put the UI in for it.
Nice. Yeah, I
It's
mean,
good.
so we have the payment configured so that you can eat the credit card fees or you can pass them on. It's the reason to me that ACH is so important is then I am providing them a no cost option to pay online if they want to, So you can pay with a credit card and you can pay for the fee client, or you can pay with ACH or cash or check, and there's no fee for any of that stuff. So that's how I like to do it. And so once we have ACH, you'd be able to do that too. If we had a cover photo that would load there, which really makes the whole client portal experience look good. It's got the map, which I think is nice. And you kind of see how we've like got. Now notice how the report right now is locked. So like if I am Michael Jordan and I didn't pay my bill, I can't open this job. So I'll show you the settings for that here in just a second. So those settings are right down here. So this is kind of cool. If we scroll down, we're on the client and property information page, awaiting signature and payment. And so I think that's why it's locked. It looks like you could unlock it if you want to, or no, this will just lock it. I guess it's just automatically locked. Is that right, Steve?
It depends on your company default. So you can see there that your company default is set to require signature and payment. That drop down allows you to change it on a per report basis. So if you say, well, this is my sister that I'm doing this report for, so I'm not worried about her paying me before I do the report. You can configure it to be no gate when you publish it, and it'll go automatically, even if it's not marked as paid.
Okay,
But by default, it uses your company defaults, which are configured in your settings here on the desktop.
cool. I love that.
So, Mr.
Um,
Lamb,
Yes, sir.
Christopher Long here. How are you?
Good, Chris. How you doing?
The pain in the ass that keeps sending you things to do.
I really appreciate you. You help make our product better.
All right, so here you go. I'm 100% switched over now for
Which I
over
love
three
it.
for
So much
over
better
three
than the last
weeks.
time I saw you.
Over 3 weeks. Almost a month. 100% through Scribeware. Nothing's going through Keystone. Nothing was going through the HomeGauge portal. 100%.
That's great.
100%. I love everything that you guys have done. A. B. It all works. C. I've created all of my own emails to go out as I had them with HomeGauge, which works great. The only complaint I have, and you can throw something at me through the screen, if you guys can tickle us when somebody schedules something, either an email or a text, so I don't have to go into Scribeware and see that somebody booked something. That's the only thing you have left to do on the notifications.
So Chris, are
Dylan,
you using the auto booking, like where you're not approving stuff? Okay, yeah.
wait,
Um,
you're automatically booking, you're automatically approving every request that comes in.
I am.
Okay.
So in other words, they're booking on my website. The portal is live on my website.
Yep,
They're
right. But do you have to send the confirmation? Go and show them the setting that you're referring to, Dylan.
yeah, so that was under where was it?
Under scheduling, yeah.
It was right down here is auto confirm bookings submitted online.
And what that means is that if I went to your website and I said, Chris, I want you to inspect my 5,000 square foot house that I'm trying to buy tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. It's if I book that through your website, if you have that check, then if you have that checked, then I'm going to expect you to be at my 5,000 square foot house tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. If you have that unchecked, then that means you have to go. Then that means you go into Scribeware and you have to confirm with them and say, hey, yes, 8 a.m. tomorrow morning works great, and you have the whole confirm process that we talked about earlier.
Yeah,
I get that, but still nowhere do I know that 5 people just booked me for 5 different inspections. I have to go in, I have to go online to see that they're there.
you have to open
Again,
Scribeware.
yeah. Now
Right.
again, it didn't do it with Keystone, but one of the best features that Homebrew, let me say that again, Homebrew had was whenever somebody would book, you'd get an email that says, Steve Lamb just booked you for this day, this time. Please confirm. So I didn't have to
I
go
got you.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got it on my phone at, oh, somebody booked me. I know I got to go online.
Dylan, do you want to show them?
I don't know where to do that.
We talked about this last week. Go under message automations.
Yeah.
Okay. When a inspection is
Oh yeah, of
scheduled
course. Okay. Yeah.
or
So
requested is what you're looking for. When an inspection is requested,
right here,
You're
uh-huh.
killing me.
Send hey, we got your inspection.
send confirmation email
Email. Yep.
to
To
this is where we need the inspector, right?
yeah, right now it's the company, but we could add inspector. That's
Oh,
no
I see.
problem.
Company.
All right. So the company is us.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we can do it because I saw
Yep.
that in there, but I didn't click on it because I
Yeah.
didn't know if it was going to come to me or it was going to end up at Orca
Yep.
in Oregon.
Fantastic
I love
feedback.
it, Chris.
It should say inspector there or inspector's company or my company,
Okay.
or me, in
Okay.
there instead of company. That's a little
All right.
confusing. I get that, but yeah, that's what you're looking for.
Then I will give you the 100% thumbs up because I got to tell you,
Success.
this thing since I've been beta testing this thing, it's been flawless. It really has. I mean,
It's
it's
awesome,
doing
Chris.
everything that, all of the others would do and then some. You got some great features in there. So
Thank
kudos to
you.
you and your team.
Nice.
Thank you
Love it.
so much. Yeah, we've been
Yeah.
working hard. I'm
I
so
should
glad to
have had
hear
you
that.
running this, Chris. I'm not up and running yet. I mean,
I
I've
know.
only
I
booked
got you
one.
over. I haven't gotten Dylan over yet.
Uh, Um, awesome.
That's
Well,
great.
so
Yeah.
these message automations, guys, are pretty cool. I was playing with these the other day, and they are kind of they're definitely like tricky. I mean, I was going around lots of different configurations with
Yeah,
them.
you gotta really read what they're saying. Because again, I had set up multiple automations and the agents were getting multiple emails, and then I
Yep.
realized that I had multiples in there.
Mhm.
Yep.
Well, I think one thing Steve and I talked about is we don't have it quite yet, but just trying to come up with some place where we have like a few different pre-configured things for you because it's like this really challenges my own dyslexia. There's like 10 different things that are happening at once, and so I struggle with it, but I'll walk you guys through this. Like, so we just did this one, but when an inspection is confirmed, you can send an appointment reminder email to the client one day ahead of time, or it could be you can actually have it be 12 hours ahead of time or whatever. So there's a whole you can create as many automations as you want. You could even have one to, I think you can have one for after the inspection.
It's great.
Is that,
Yep.
yeah, an inspection is
After it's completed.
completed, and you could have a
I
a
I
follow
I
up.
yeah, I actually did my Google review that goes out the
That
next day.
okay,
That's
that's
exactly
awesome,
it.
Chris. I was wondering
I did
that.
a Google review. I said it goes out to the client. I put the Google tag in there, so all I got to do is click on it. It brings them right to my Google page, for an attaboy.
Love
So
Yep.
it.
That's great. Yeah. And if you want to send a follow-up 6 months after the inspection is complete, saying how's the house going? Is it, are you have any questions on it? You can do all that here as well.
Hey,
Steve, would you be able to configure it? Like one really interesting one is if you do a new build, you could send out a warranty reminder like 10 months later, you know?
We
Do we have
don't
that
yet have the ability to fork on
type
specific
of building,
attributes
basically?
is what that
Yeah.
kind of looks like, right? You know,
Yep.
because you can configure your scheduler, the interview, you know, like, you know, when you're the information you gather about a given report, you can say, I want to know if this is a new build or you know, a stick inspection or whatever. But we don't have the ability yet to create automations based on
Yeah.
those attributes.
It's
Yeah,
tricky.
but
I don't necessarily like I know it when I book it, but like it's not like I have a different template or anything if I'm doing a new build. So
right, right.
that's tricky like to get that data, but that would actually
But
be
it's
pretty.
important to know, and I think we're going to be doing a whole separate meeting on message automations because this is a really complicated piece and is honestly something that we're still trying to dial in as we've gotten more people and more users with feedback like yours, Chris. But it's important to note that like the if you hit the add condition there, Dylan,
Mhm.
so you can do things like if you know if we're an hour before the inspection and they haven't signed the contract, then send them a urgent email saying, you know, oh, you better sign the contract or I'm not going to show up, or
Mhm.
something along those lines, right? And so there are additional conditions that you can add in. Um, uh, and again, I think you know as we develop this and as more people use them and we understand how people want to use them and what's common and useful, I think we'll add you know common scenarios that you can quickly add here through automations and enable or disable and
Yeah,
uh,
it's
yeah.
actually, I guess if on the intake form you had a little check box that said, is this new construction that the client could fill in,
Correct.
and then that
Correct.
tied to a condition, then you would be able to automate that whole thing, right?
Correct. Yep.
That's
Yep.
pretty
Steve,
cool. Yeah.
um,
So,
I just
another
want.
thing to remember that was kind of
Oh, hold on,
messing.
Dylan. We got somebody chiming in with a question.
Oh yeah, but
I was just gonna say, I'm a former Spectora user, and that was one thing that they did have kind of dialed in is, like for example, if you sell a radon test, with the inspection, they don't get an email, but if you don't, there's an upsell email that goes out, based upon that condition. So
Love
I
that.
would have like a breakdown of whatever services they didn't select in email format with a video for each service, like a video about radon. And it was just, I filmed something quick explaining what radon is, why radon testing is important. And then
Yep.
they had the ability to basically request it. So
So when you
you
said
send it.
you would have a list of services, did they, uh, if let's say some of your upsells were radon, sewer scope, pool inspection, would you have a separate email configured for each of those, or would it be one
It
email
was
that
basic.
said,
I had like six different emails for whatever group they didn't select. There was a upsell email for whatever's left,
yeah, so you
and
basically
okay,
could
so
create an email per ancillary service that had, and you could link a video to it and stuff.
yeah, and it worked. Like there's a lot of stuff I realized I wasn't trying very hard to sell because people would ask for services all the time that I really hadn't been doing before because I hadn't taken the time to really explain radon testing and stuff like that. So it was actually like once I had the videos and the emails dialed in, it was like I actually stopped selling add-on services when I booked the job. I would just book the job and then the emails would go out and passively sell everything at a higher rate
gotcha,
than when I was trying
Yep.
to sell it over the phone. So
gotcha. That's really cool.
just
Okay, let me
long term, I'm
explore.
just mentioning it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that was part of the deal with this. I know these, you know, these are all opportunities to make you all more money and, you know, selling the services you want to do and nobody likes to sell anything. So, if we can have the, you know, if we can get this configured so it can help you sell and make more money, then that's what we want to do. So I'll check out what Spectora does around that and see if I can understand that better and then put some of our own brain power behind it and see how we can do it even better than them. So thanks for
Hey,
that feedback. That's great.
Steve, I
hey,
still have
Jameson.
Spectora, so if you want to do a call or something, I can walk you through it and
That's
save
awesome.
you
Thank
some
you so
time
much.
in trying
Yeah.
to interpret it all.
Yeah. Totally. I
I,
love that. Thank you.
hey, Jameson. With that tag. In the meanwhile, what I did because what I did was on my initial agreement, like on sewer scoping, on the agreement, I added on the initial agreement an add-on sale, and I put a link onto sewer scoping. So in the meanwhile, while we're transitioning to this, you can do it on your agreement on the initial email that goes out to your client.
So how does that work, Vince? Can you just walk us through that?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you happen to go through your emails that you have, right, and you set up
Mhm.
your email template as far as your email that goes out to your client. So when you create your email, your message template, and you're doing your agreement, on the bottom of your agreement, before you add in your placeholders, you type in your add-on sale, and you type in your add-on sale. You can actually bring a link in. In my case, I bring the link into my website on the sewer scope, and it adds a generic part of my agreement. Hey, by the way, sewer scope, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And
Oh,
they add
cool.
it on there. And for me, I have not noticed any loss. Actually, it's about the same from my previous software, and I've never had what you had before, like you had on Spectora. But it's like a silent salesman in my message template when it goes out.
That's brilliant, Vince. Yeah, so you're
And you
really
can
just
and
been
you can do
able to
that right
build
now.
it right into your email confirmations. Yeah.
Right through there with the link. You could tag in the link right on there in your message template, just above your placeholders.
Okay. Yeah. That's pretty cool. I like what Jameson was describing is kind of neat because you can I like the way you could build a little customized message for each service is pretty sweet. But that sounds like it's working pretty well for you, Vince. That's great.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool guys. So this is under messaging templates, and then those automations are right below it. And yeah, I mean,
Hey,
this stuff's all
John.
brand new, so we appreciate the feedback. I mean, we're trying to dial all this in so that it's exactly what everybody wants. That's our goal, right? So, and
You have any fun?
this is a Pandora's box where everybody does scheduling a bit differently and has different needs. So, but we're
Dylan, I
getting
had a question on Google Calendar, real quick.
yeah.
So on Google Calendar with Scribeware, on Google Calendar, when you set up like different important calendar dates, and let's say, for instance, things that are personal, with Scribeware, am I still able to put in my personal without interfering a block, or will there be a crossover on calendar? Like on Google Calendar, if you have like two different events, you can actually, it'll just highlight that there's a crossover or different colors. Will that interfere or block out my time as far as appointments if I put in a personal calendar event?
Yeah, I think that's the whole purpose is that if you have an availability currently, but yet you book something in your Google Calendar, it would make you not have that availability any longer, you know?
Yep. And right now, it blocks out just on your calendar. And so if you have other people on your team, your company will still have availability just beyond for those other people, and you won't be booked for that particular time slot. I don't know if it was you, Vince, or if it was Herberto, or somebody who was talking about wanting to be able to block off company-wide time on a calendar. We don't have that yet, but that's something we're looking at. That's a good suggestion.
But it
Hey
seems most
guys.
important to be able to block off each inspector individually, right?
And
Like that's the most important.
that does happen through both the Google Calendar integration as well as directly if you don't have the Google Calendar integration, you can use the calendar view on Scribeware.
Cool.
And Heriberto had a question.
Yeah, Humberto, what's up, man?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Very
Great.
good.
Sorry, I can't show my face. I'm actually driving, but yeah, I just got a notification, and I'm like, I'm gonna hop on and see. But we were going back to the message automations. I think I kind of I'm coming over from my SN. And just like Chris said, it's been pretty much flawless. But my question would be, and I think think Steve answered it, or Tim, one of you guys answered. So how do you guys deal with the? I couldn't. I mean, I understand it really quite well. But regarding the listing agent, I normally had a template for that will go out to the template to the listing agent for that transaction or that property. I would, from ISN, I got defer like I was with them for about 2 years, I think, and I mean, I got several jobs from them, just or from those templates, because the listing agent, I would ask, I would get that referral, and I would ask them, how'd you hear about us? And they would say, oh, it was one of your emails that I just got recently, or the search home inspection, and I came up. So I'm not sure, how do you guys handle that? Or I mean, if they're like I was saying, I think Tim or Steve, one of you guys replied to the email, and you had that respond, but I quite couldn't get it. I'm not sure if you can maybe Dylan, I don't know if you can maybe refresh my memory and see how it's, because right now I'm actually doing it manually. So I mean, I get about 10, 15 inspections a week, and it's just like kind of overwhelming for me to do that manually.
Yeah, totally. Let's see. I think, are you referring to being able to send separate emails to listing agents versus buyer's agents?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that is. So right now, um, and I think actually, I think if I remember correctly, I responded to you this morning. That was me. We have a setting in the message templates that says CC agents on this email, which which doesn't actually make sense when you have both listing agents and selling or buyer's agents on the email.
Right.
So that needs to be much more granular and say include listing agents and include buyer's agents or include the client's agents. Um,
The reason, yeah, I mean, I mean, the only template that would go out for the listing agent, it would just say thanking them for letting us access the property, but it wouldn't have
yes,
anything information about the contract or pricing or anything like that. It was just,
yep.
just to make sure that the utilities are on and so on and so forth, but nothing as far as specific of the transaction. I mean,
Yeah, that I can configure that we can configure now with the features that we have, and I can reach out to me separately if you want to do a separate Zoom or whatever. We can help you get that configured, and because you can configure the message automations to say send out an email to the listing agents or send out an email to the sellers agents to say, make sure the utilities are on, make sure we have access to property, dogs logged up, etc.
The thing that's really complicated, I mean, this whole thing is super complicated, but then sometimes the listing, I mean, for me, the listing agent is my client's client or agent 80% of the time. I do mostly pre-listing inspections.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you can't really set up your messaging based on pre-listing, like based on, your assumption, Roberto, would be that
uh,
everybody is, you're working for buyers, but as soon as that
right,
flips around, all your messaging would be off. So you really need to create these teams where there's like, who's your client? That's the main person. And then who's the agent working with that client? And what's their
right.
role? I mean, it's super complicated, right?
Does
Anyway.
I'm curious for people, and you can answer in text, so not everybody jumps in here, but right now we have, and historically we haven't worried about this because the client is the person you're delivering the report to. But I think the way Keystone handles it, and probably ISN as well, is that you specify.
As did you mute Steve?
Steve, I don't think your mic is working.
Hey Steve, I think you. Thanks, Tim. I couldn't tell whether I was like, is that me? Is everybody else?
Oh, here.
Hey Steve, I think you're muted somehow. Maybe your headset. Hey, Steve, can you guys all hear me?
Okay, I can.
We
Yeah,
hear
I
We
got
you.
you
can
back.
hear
I got
Okay.
you
you,
back.
but not Steve.
You're
Yeah,
back,
sorry.
Steve.
There we go.
My goddamn wife called me at the wrong time and it switched my audio
Oh,
on my
that's
kid.
so right on.
So, anyways, I'm not, did you guys get all that? We right
Yeah.
now we have a client and a primary agent, and I'm wondering if it makes more sense to have a specifier saying my client is a buyer or a seller, and then associate you with the agents that way.
I think that's the way you almost have to do it because once you start assigning, like, is the client a buyer or a seller? And then, what's the agent's role and everything, especially if you want to start creating different messaging. I've never emailed the other agent. I've always just only emailed the agent associated with my client. I see Alberto's point, and I can see why you'd want to do that, but that seems like if you're going to go that, you really have to like be super clear about who's dealing with who, or I wouldn't want to be sending the wrong email to the wrong agent. That would be bad.
Right. And you
Yeah.
have in our client portal right now, when you schedule an appointment, it asks who you are, which you're
Hmm.
going to be the client, and then asks who the agent is, and that agent, especially if you're self-representing, that may be the seller's agent. And so, but right now we go and
Yeah, we
I don't
don't
know.
even have a place to intake the third agent, right? Or
No, we don't.
the third party, excuse me.
Correct.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I'm loath to answer. I'm loath to ask clients trying to give you business. I'm loath to have them answer any more questions than they have to.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Normally,
uh,
I mean, in ISN, I would, they would have a field for listing agent, and I would just, fill that information out. Obviously, that information is something that was done
Yeah,
manually, but
yeah,
the
because I was going to
uh
say most people using an online intake form aren't going to know who
right.
the listing agent is. So you would have to put that in manually. So if you got a request, you go like look it up and like then go put that agent.
I would
That
sure hope
seems like
not.
such a
No.
pain.
Yeah, I
Yep.
mean, the only that was the only thing that I would just put, but then the email will go automated. So I don't know if because I think I emailed us and I think someone said about a contractor. I'm not sure what that meant.
Right.
Does anybody else on the call email both agents?
I do,
Gary,
Bill.
Hey
Gary's
guys,
raising his hand. What you got, Gary?
I do every job. An email goes out to the listing agent to
Uh,
let them know that we've scheduled this inspection, and then also has instructions for preparing the house for an
Okay.
inspection.
Yeah, yeah,
And they can
yeah.
just take that email and forward it directly to their client, and then they don't have to do anything other than forward it. Not that
Sure.
they ever do, but it's there.
How do you get the
And
data
also,
of how do you get that data? Do you fill that in then or
what do you mean? What data are you?
the data like of who like so like if I'm working for a buyer, I'm gonna almost automatically get the client can fill in their information and their agent's information, but they don't have the listing
Right.
agent's information. So how would you get that in?
Well,
it's
it's available on the online form. They
right.
can put it in, but most of the time they don't. I just go search the address on Zillow
Uh-huh.
or
Yeah,
whatever
so
and
you
find out
manually
who it
put it
is, and
in.
then I put it in.
I gotcha.
And the other thing that I use it for is with some of my inspections, like the septic inspections, I need to send a form out to the seller to fill out to get information on the system and to remind them of what their requirements are to get prepared for that inspection.
Hmm.
And so I pretty much need to be able to send in an email to that listing agent.
Hmm.
And on with that septic inspection, there I have a Google form or a Jot form, I forget which one, but they fill that form out online to send it back to me.
I gotcha. Yeah.
Also, Pennsylvania requires you to send a notice out for radon. And if you're going to do a radon test,
Yeah.
you're supposed to send out a notice uh, that they're supposed to sign. No,
Yep.
almost no one does. So I think in 15 years, I've gotten about a dozen of them back.
Yeah.
Right on. Gary Smith, do you have two do you
yeah,
message
yeah,
both agents?
I try to track them. I just run them down, and
Okay.
then
Yep.
put the name in it,
Yep.
and I send that email, same kind of email out. Do
Yep.
you have Do you have dogs? Are there any special locks? But blah blah blah, all that.
Yep. Cool. Good to
Can you
know.
guys
Well,
hear me okay?
we'll ruminate on that. I appreciate it,
Hey,
everybody.
hey guys, I just have one more thing. It was kind of the second part, and this is perfect. The perfect moment to bring it up was that I had the template set up and the automation set up, and it didn't send the emails to the agents. So in the template, I put on the message. I'm right here. It's I put so on the I put it that when I confirm, it immediately sends it the template for the selling agent and the buyer's agent. And then in the message templates, I have I'm going to pull up the buyer's agent confirmation. It says include agent emails as recipients, and on the booking form, I have it from the drop down for buyer's agent. So I put and the last two, it didn't send. I know that they responded to the first one, so I was looking forward to this meetup to ask you if I'm doing something wrong. Because I see that the
Uh,
client got the email. They said they didn't get it. I think she just doesn't go to her email. I texted her the link to the
yeah.
portal, so it didn't go to the agents. I'm just wondering, and I put include agent emails as recipients, and then it has the so I just was wondering if you guys had any feedback about that.
I can get you. The easiest way for us to get you specifics about the whatever you've configured in the situation is just to hit the submit feedback with the
Okay, sorry,
specific.
I didn't know if that would be considered general. I thought
Oh no,
anyway.
it's totally fine, and I'm glad you brought it up. But and it's a great message for everyone. Is if you're running into a situation where something didn't go out or something didn't behave the way that you expected it to, just send us a hit the submit feedback button. It's best if you can give us details like in this report, I did this and blah 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 and had this configured, and then I thought it was going to go out to the buyer's agent, but it didn't. Can you tell me why? And we can go
Okay.
in and figure that out. That helps us. We can not only help inform you as to why that didn't happen, but also helps us evaluate the UI and see if there's some way that we can make it more clear to future users so that we don't run into that again. So it's super helpful for you to give us that feedback and not just get stuck on something's not working or being frustrated or think it's you is like let us know. We're here to
Okay,
help.
I'll
Yeah,
definitely let you know next time, and that's all
cool.
I have. But thank you
That's
guys.
So
perfect. Thank you. I appreciate it.
everybody,
Yeah.
if some of you are new to Scribeware, the submit feedback on desktops right here at the bottom left, but it's really valuable. Steve built this right from the very beginning, but it sends our team of coders logs of what's going on. And so it's hands down the best way if you're like having trouble or something, you have a suggestion or whatever, just use the submit feedback and you can write a message. If you want to send a video or a screenshot, video, you could put the link in, which is really helpful. If you want to send a screenshot of something, you will get an email from us that says, thank you for submitting feedback. And you can always respond to that email with a screenshot of something. But we obviously run on like tens of thousands of different devices and everybody's customizing and everything and syncing with the internet and there's a lot of moving parts. So this is really like a way to cut through the clutter where we can get you guys good data relatively quickly and try to get stuff fixed or
Can you,
addressed quickly.
can you do that from a handheld also, Dylan?
Yes, correct. On your mobile device, on the bit that you take a picture with at the bottom, it's actually a toolbar. So where you would open your camera, you can slide that bar to the right, and you'll see an exclamation point, and that will send feedback. Hey, Hollis is on here. Good to see you, Hollis.
Hi.
I was just re thinking of that nice trip I had out to Maryland. It was fun seeing all you guys out there. So
Well,
thanks.
now that you've acknowledged me, real quickly, I have something I want to talk to you about. So maybe we
Sure.
could hang out for 2 minutes after.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds good, Hollis.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
right on. Cool. So anyway, submit feedback for everybody. That's super important. If we go back to this job that we just scheduled then, so we're kind of ready to go. Michael Jordan's trying to stiff me. He hasn't paid me yet, but we'll assume that he'll pay me at some point. And I'm kind of ready to roll. So why don't we open up, you guys want to go over, we don't have tons of time, but I'd like to go over contracts. Should we do that real quick?
Yeah.
So that's under settings, and then we've gone through scheduling services. Now we're going under contracts. So this is basically, like in a perfect world, you have your own agreement in a Word doc. If it's in a PDF, God help you. But you can, the idea is you can paste your agreement in here. And then, there's up here, there's ways to format things. So you could highlight this and it could be a subheading, or it could be normal text, or we could go back to the heading, and you could move it over to the left if you want, or you could bring it to the center. So, this is a bit, to me, it's closer to maybe like the way Google Docs works or something. So you paste in your stuff. Whenever you're ready, you hit save. And if you want to start a new agreement, you can always go up here and add a new one. So you can create as many different agreements as you want. The magic of the agreements are these placeholders. And so, this agreement is dated, and you put a placeholder for the date between the client name and the inspector's names, or you could change it. We could delete that one, and we could put in the inspection company, I believe. Yeah, company name. So that's kind of just how you add those, and this comes the fee and the client address. So it's all pretty straightforward, really. And when you're done, you hit save, and it'll remember the agreement. And I don't know. It's all straightforward. Yeah, I had an RV inspector, super confused about the fact that like the placeholders are really important. Like otherwise, you would have to open up your contract editor every single time you had a new job to paste in the, the address, or the fee total or whatever. So the placeholders are the keys to the kingdom for trying to make this a flexible system where you don't have to open it back up again.
So the placeholders have actually gotten a lot more advanced with Scriber 7. The You can do things now like include custom answers to the questions that you have on the scheduler. And so one thing that's come up often is if you have on your if you want to put the client's existing home address on your contract that you have them sign. This is something that Tim has been bugging me about forever. Um, um, then you can now add that as a custom question in scheduling. To Dylan, if you want to go over to scheduling, you can show this. But you can add a custom question if you go down to the bottom that says, "Hey, what's your home address?" And then you can put the result of that answer into as a placeholder into your contract, which does help RV inspectors in particular in
Oh,
that
that's really cool.
they
Yeah.
always want the VIN number and the make and model of the RV, and they got to put that in their contract. All that stuff you can now do fairly straightforward, and have that be on your intake form, and have the feed directly in your contract, and be a lot more flexible that way. You can put in individual prices. You can put the total price of the inspection. Yeah, the placeholders have gotten a lot of work in a big remake.
And
Um,
so if I ask it like, what's your current property address here, I can put it in my online scheduling. I could make it a required field in there, or
Yeah,
required.
so those two, what that means is if you have a question there, then and if you look at if you look at the input type, you can make it a text question. You can make it a Boolean, like a yes, no. You can make it a multiple choice. You can make it a multi-line question. You can also say what step in the what step in the intake form do you want to ask them that question, and you can make them required or online. If it's not online, if that's not checked, then it only appears in the client and property information page. So it's only on the inspector's view of the report. And so, you could put something in there like, is this a return client, or is this a friend or family, or whatever else is important to you, to track that information and be able to track it as a part of the report itself, and maybe impact prices on that and that sort of thing.
Cool,
Super,
Steve.
super
That's really
powerful.
neat. I didn't know about that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So once you have the question, how does that affect the placeholders on the agreement?
So those questions then appear as options for placeholders that you can insert into the agreement.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Yep.
I can't think of a way I want to tweak mine, but
yeah, totally.
yeah.
I know the RV users can. So Wayne and I built that one for you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, totally. You're all on it, Wayne.
Much appreciate that change,
Yes,
along with a whole bunch of others. Thank you.
yeah. Appreciate
That's
you
great.
harassing me. So yeah, we do listen.
Cool. No, that's great. Okay, so agreements are pretty straightforward, and then the client portal, then, on your end, you can always open up the client portal to just sort of see what's going on. So there's two links on the client and property information page. This is the report, and then you can also view the client portal, so you can I guess that's the agreement that's attached.
That's it. Yeah, so directly to your agreement. Yeah.
Yeah. Oops.
Hey, now that we're talking about, sorry to cut you off, Dylan, but that we're talking about agreements, in ISN, we would have like, I'm sure this is something that you guys work on in the future, but instead of just having the total fee, like have the services laid out, because so the client would actually know what they're actually paying for. So I'm not sure if that's something that can be worked on the future, if I'm making any sense.
Yeah, I think that is it's in our list right now. We have not tackled that one yet. It's a little bit more challenging because obviously right now our placeholders are the value of the placeholder, and whereas
Yeah.
like a list is a list. And so that one, it's been a little bit more challenging to add that in, but I know that's on our list, and we've gotten a lot of requests for that one. So yeah, we're definitely going to be adding that in.
Okay. Do you guys have a
Yeah.
roadmap by any chance? Just a random question.
Not a public one. We used to, and it kind of got out of. We've been, it's been very neglected. We've got a feature, request portal that people have contributed to. That's probably we haven't looked at it in quite some time, and we've tackled most of the issues. So we are definitely resurrecting that, and in the process of putting a roadmap on. And it also, this stuff changes so rapidly.
Right.
We tend to plan out about 3 months in advance because we have no idea what the world is going to look like in 6 months from now. And the thing that guides us, everyone, is the requests that we get and the feedback that we get and the I wishes. So if you told us something that you really wanted 6 months ago, it's probably on our list, but if we haven't heard from you and you're like, oh yeah, they said they're going to do it, but everybody else has said they want a bunch of other stuff and it's still hot top of your mind, please let us know again, because it helps like us know what is present in mind for you, what is going to be most helpful for you as our clients, as our active clients, for us to address and to make your lives easier. And that's what's most important to us. So please keep reaching out. Please keep asking questions. You don't need to bother me every week about feature requests, Wayne. But letting me know once a month, that's really helpful. So yeah. So and Wayne, I'm tossing you shit. I really do appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
So
Yeah.
I just thought I'd show this, guys. Tim is still putting the finishing touches on smart tag, so we're not there yet. And this needs a little bit of refinement, but I had this idea the other day that I thought was cool. I wish I could get these, Tim, to auto sort by the feet, you know? But I thought using the tags is a really cool way to it's one of the best ways you could do a summary for a sewer scope, because now you have the deficiency noted and the location, you know, how deep it was. So I thought, and I did this using the tagging system or the smart tag system. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's
I
really cool.
I have a few little tweaks on it, but don't you guys think this is a nice way to deliver a sewer scope summary?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I need to kind of do this. The idea is that you'd have a quick summary of all the different materials and what depth you found them at. And right now I just have one. I need to make it so they would stack up so that if you have, you know, concrete and ABS and clay or whatever, you could like have them all in a little list. But then the deficiencies, Tim, is there a way to sort these where it would show up with the 5 to 10 feet and you know what I'm saying?
Uh, Not easily like that. I mean, you can sort it by a column right now, but it would just sort by the first digit. It
Yeah,
wouldn't know the
yeah,
difference between 5 and 50. So we'd have to look at that.
yep, yep,
Find a different way for that.
yep. Anyway, those are the few little hang-ups that I have, but they're not deep. But anyway, just to get to a little bit of report writing stuff, to me, that's the fun
I
stuff.
love it. Yeah.
All this scheduling. But no, I know it's really important, and I appreciate everybody's enthusiasm for it. So,
Yeah.
Hey, Phil, a quick question on messages.
yeah,
When you go to message automation, unlike on your contract and your agreements, on the upper right, you have where you can save it. But when you go to message automation, how do you know that you saved it? Does it automatically save when you get to a certain point within the message? I'm sorry, not automation in messages or templates. Yeah, thank you.
okay.
How do you like on that radar? How do you know that it's saved, or do you have to get to a certain point within that template to save it?
We tend to always save everything automatically. That's we've moved away from an explicit save button because that it works more consistently with the rest of Scribeware and a lot of other modern apps these days. I don't know, Vince, you know, where else were you referring to that actually has an explicit save button?
On the agreement. When you go to your if you go when you go to the
Yeah,
agreement, that
that's right.
actually
The agreement does have one.
upper right corner
Oh
right
yeah, you're
there.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep, you're right. You're right. Yeah, and that will more likely go away than it will be likely for us to have an explicit save on the templates.
Okay.
Although Dylan and I were talking the other day actually about a situation where he was trying to create a new template. You remember this, Dylan? You were trying to create a new message template, and you wanted to actually make it a copy of an existing one, and that was somewhat complicated to do.
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so I don't know. You know, don't hold me to that, but do you like having a save button there?
Well, no, I guess if we knew where it, I guess we're old school. You're used to doing a
Yep,
save button, but like
yep,
if I start entering, at what point does it start to enter it, or does it automatically pick up by a default when I finish a certain line? That would
yep.
be the only thing I
Yeah.
guess I would need
Well,
to
and
know.
the inconsistency creates some confusion, right? If it's
That's
save in
exactly it.
one place, then you think oh, I've got to save it, and then if it's
That's
not
it.
in
Yep,
another place. So it's a good comment, Vince.
yep,
Richard, were
Yeah.
you trying to say something or were you just waving your hand around? Okay. Um,
yep.